Hey, how you doing? So I just wanted to do a follow-up to my last two videos about Chris Watts and autism. I'm really freaking surprised at the response that I got. A lot of people commented, and a lot of people had some really nice things to say. Stuff like, you must be a good father. Uh, I saw several times. I just want to tell you thank you. Um, I try. And of course, my son's 18 now, and things are a lot different than they were. I'm actually going to do a series about him, a series of videos coming up pretty soon here. My kids are off for spring break, and they've been at home and been busy as hell, anyways, so just haven't had a chance to get around to that. But yeah, so thank you for the nice comments. There was some snarky comments. One said, "You something like you think you know it all or whatever." And I just want to be clear about something. I'm not a clinician. Uh, I don't think I'm a clinician. I'm simply a parent, like thousands of you are, of a person with autism. I know that doesn't relate super close to this talk about Chris Watts having it because, my experience primarily is with lower functioning, where if he had it, it would be higher functioning. But here's what I got to thinking about. The first obvious thing is really, what's the difference? He did what he did. Does he have? Is he narcissist? Is he this? Is he that? I would love to read a psychological workup that was done at the prison of where he's at or what he thought that what they think that he could have. But in the end, it doesn't matter anyways. And I've been listening to this podcast lately called what is it? Cold, COLD, all capitals. That's why I spelled it. But that's all about that Josh Powell case. The guy who said he took his boys camping and he had his wife in the trunk of the car, and he ended up blowing himself up with his boys and all that. And I was watching a bunch of interviews with him, and there seemed to be some parallels with Chris Watts. And then, it's like, well, did Powell have autism? I mean, how many of these familicide murderers do we need to sit and wonder if they have autism or not? Really, in the end, I don't think it matters, anyways. So, yeah, the if you go and watch the Powell interviews, he seems much more shaky and nervous than Watts did. Another thing I would like to learn more about, and feel free to comment or make a response video, is those Thrive patches. Nicole Kessinger said that he barely ever slept, and is does that is that a smaller emulation of cocaine? Maybe, I don't know. But I would like to know more about what's in that Thrive stuff. But really, there isn't much left to talk about with Chris Watts. I will say this too: in that interview, I don't. I think they were a little too light-handed with him, and you know, they kept asking him, well, why? I mean, that's the question that all of us have asked throughout this whole thing is, why didn't you just get a divorce? Why didn't you, come clean, or whatever it was? The big question has always been why. And his answer to them, like, he doesn't know why he did it, he just kind of blacked out. That just doesn't add up to me. I would like to hear him pressured a little bit more and asked, well, what do you mean? You just blacked out and it happened. You know, uh, that's just not a solid enough answer. So, is it possible he premeditated it and he won't admit it? But what's the difference now? I have no idea. But anyways, I think that probably wraps up my thoughts on the Watts case. I don't know what else. Like I said, I don't know what else there is to say about it. So, and other than that, you know, you people who follow the Watts stuff, you've probably seen all this drama that's going on lately, and I've watched a little bit of it. It seems like it's been what 4 or 5 days of that now, and it just seems like a huge waste of time for all their parts, for all the people participating in it. I'm not participating in it. I'm not judging them. I'm just saying, from an outsider's perspective, it just seems like a bunch of grandstanding and posturing. And I watched John Crine say in a one of his videos a while ago that, you know, when you're a YouTuber, drama gets you nowhere. And you know, he seems really focused on his content. Of course, I do realize that a lot of people do YouTube for various different reasons. Uh, I'm not in it for monetization or any of that. It's just like an expressive outlet. And even Go Lightly, she was in a live a few days ago. I can't remember exactly, but she kept saying that this Chris Watts group, this Chris Watts group, and the sub community, the drama community, is so tiny and narrow that any serious YouTuber is just not going to get anywhere getting involved in it. And again, I do realize it's none of my business, and but I'm not really paying much attention to it anymore. I watched a little bit of Brian St. John's rant and police call today. I'll tell you what I've been having fun with. Go over and subscribe to Roseanne Barr's channel. She's interesting. She's a piece of work, that lady. Funny too in her own way. So that's it. See you later. Bye. Thank you.